Greetings, fellow Earthlings and viewers across the World Wide Web. This is Tune 215, and right now we're in the state of Michigan. We're currently in the city of Detroit. Today we're going to be doing a short driving tour of a neighborhood called Fiskhorn. 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 It's 67 degrees outside right now. We're making a right-hand turn on Coyle, C-O-Y-L-E, Coyle. The sun is setting. We're in a residential neighborhood. We have homes on our right. We have an open field on our left-hand side. Now, Fiskhorn is said to be one of the worst neighborhoods or most dangerous neighborhoods here in Detroit. It comes up on a top 5 list on Google. So I figured I'd check it out in real life to see what it looks like and document it virtually for you guys. We have an abandoned building on my left-hand side. Fiskhorn is a neighborhood in Detroit, Michigan with a population of 3,400 people. Fiskhorn is in Wayne County. Living in Fiskhorn offers residents a dense suburban feel, and most residents rent their homes. That building on my left was abandoned. We're at Mackenzie, Coyle and Mackenzie. We're going to stop here. So the median home value in this neighborhood is $31,893. Wow, that's super duper cheap. The median rent is $657. Now, to put that in perspective nationally, the median home value is $31,893. The national home value is $217,500. So that's a very small fraction of what houses are normally going for across the country. There's an abandoned house on my left. On the way over here, I saw tons of abandoned buildings too, abandoned houses and all of that. Most of these houses appear to be in good shape. Brick homes, 1 story, 1.5 story, front lawns. They got driveways, they got sidewalks, they got grass-lined sidewalks. We got a speed bump right here. So 55% of the residents here rent versus 45% of the residents who own their property. They got porches. Some of them got open porches. Some of them got closed porches. All right, we're at Selton and Coyle. I'm going to continue moving forward. Yeah, if you Google what are the most dangerous neighborhoods in Detroit, Michigan, number 1 comes up as Fiskhorn. Or Fiskhorn, I'm sorry. It actually comes up in many different ways because I've seen it. It says Fishkorn, Fishkorn. But then I also see Fiskhorn. And then you got Carbon Works. You got Van Steuben. You got Warrendale, Franklin Park, Barton McFarland, Fitzgerald, and Riverdale. So I just went for the first one that was on the list, which happened to be the most confusing, to be completely honest, because I see Fishkorn and I see Fiskhorn. If you're from here, let us know which one it is. I mean, on Google Maps, you see it says Fiskhorn, Fiskhorn. But then I also see it on the list as fish, like a fish in the water, and then corn instead of Corn, Korn. All right, we're on Tyreman. I'm going to continue moving forward. We're on Coyle and Tyreman. Well, actually, this is the borderline, so I do not want to move any further. I'm probably going to go left. Let's go left. If we cross over Tyreman, then we will no longer be in the Fiskhorn neighborhood. So let's make this left-hand turn on Robson. Tyreman and Robson. We got a giant hole on my right-hand side. Gentleman taking a stroll on the street, talking on the phone. We got a couple kids on my right-hand side playing outside. So there's not much information that I could find on the Fiskhorn neighborhood, unfortunately. Now, Fiskhorn receives a livability rate of 65 based on areavibes.com. It also receives an F rating for crime. It is said that total crime is 431% above the national average, and property crime is 214% above the national average. Key findings show that violent crimes in now it says Fishkorn are 1,527% higher than the national average. Wow, that spanks LA. That spanks Chicago. Man, that's the highest key finding that I have read across the country thus far. 1,527% higher than the national average. And this is talking about violent crimes. So that is incredible. As you guys saw, the block we were driving through had a bunch of kids out. Fishkorn is safer than 21% of the cities in Michigan. In Fishkorn, you notice how it refers to it as Fishkorn, but on the map it's Fiskhorn. In Fishkorn, you have a 1 in 9 chance of becoming a victim of crime. Year over year, crime in Detroit has decreased by 14%. We're at Mackenzie and Robson. Somebody spray painted THC in bubble letters on my left-hand side, on the side of that building. Francis Parkman School. So that's an abandoned school on my left-hand side. Wow, that number was astronomically absurd. It was super high. What's the employment like? So income here, they receive an F rating for income. Their income per capita is 51% below the national average. The unemployment rate is 120% above the national average. Key findings show that the median household income in Fishkorn is 59% lower than the national average. The poverty level in Fishkorn is 100% lower than the national average. What's the education like in this neighborhood? So we're at Joy. Shout out to the viewer, Joy. We are at Joy and Robson. We're next to Anointed by God Ministries on our left. So this is the border. You got an abandoned Market Deli on my left-hand side. You got another little building right here on my left that's abandoned. You're on the way over here, guys. There was a lot of abandoned buildings. I'm surprised that this takes the cake as number one. It probably wasn't even number one. It was probably just first on the list. We're at Terry and Joy. I'm going to make this right-hand turn. And since it was first on the list, I'm just assuming that it was number one, but it is on the top worst list. But based on what I saw coming over here, this can't be either worse. Because I saw like where it was abandoned houses back to back to back. Businesses were abandoned. There was a bunch of stuff abandoned, surprisingly. So this neighborhood receives a D plus when it comes to education and the schools here. A D plus rating based on areavibes.com. Average test scores are 100% below the national average. Bachelor's degrees are 75% below the national average. Key findings show that 82.6% of the people in Fishkorn have completed 8th grade. 81.8% of the people in Fishkorn have completed high school. 7.6% of the people in Fishkorn have completed a bachelor's degree. All right, we're at Mackenzie. I'm going to allow this vehicle to go by. All right, they're going to come this way. Yeah, so what's interesting too is that we're at Terry and Mackenzie. Not only is this neighborhood in a grid format, making it very easy to do a virtual tour, but it's a smaller neighborhood. It's not really huge, like when you look at the map. So it's 9 blocks by 3. 9x3 blocks. So if you do 9 times 3, that's 27, right? So there's 27 blocks of houses here, square. It looks like a perfect square too. Check out that Toyota Tercel on my right, hatchback. Ain't had no tags. We got a bunch of trash outside on my right. Looks like they're probably cleaning out a house. We're at Belton, Terry and Belton. I'm going to continue moving forward. We're traveling about 14, 15 miles per hour. We got some kids on my right playing soccer. There's some mattresses on my left-hand side laying next to the sidewalk. Got some vehicles right here reversing into their driveway. All right, we're approaching Tireman, which is one of the borders. So the borders of this neighborhood are Tireman Ave, which we're facing, Joy Road, then you have Greenfield Road, and lastly, you have Hubble Ave. Let's make this left-hand turn. We got a smoke and vape shop right there on our right-hand side. They sell CBD, kratom, hookah, holistics, and more. I'm gonna make this left-hand turn. The house right there in the corner looks new. That one right there. This white building on my left-hand side is a dispensary. It's called Nature's Medicines. We're making a left-hand turn on Lauder. We got brick homes, vinyl-sided homes. We got a bunch of trash right here on my right-hand side. I don't know if it's trash day. It might be trash day because the waste bins are out. You see the waste bins? For the most part, all in all, even though this is said to be one of the most dangerous neighborhoods, it looks pretty solid. I mean, we got an abandoned house on my right. 8094, that's abandoned. But compared to a few of the other blocks that I saw around here, this isn't that bad as far as like abandonment goes and decay. Most of the homes look uniform. We got another abandoned house over here on the corner on my right-hand side. It's for sale. They have a for sale sign on it. For sale. You want the yellow sign on it? It's at the corner of Belton. We're on Belton, and this is Lauder. Belton and Lauder. I can't see an address on that. If I could see the address, I would have gave you guys the address. 8167 is on the opposite corner on my left, so that could be 8166. Maybe. There's another abandoned one on my left. Look at, wow. Right here, there's a bunch of trash on my left. The roof on my left-hand side looks like it probably had some leaking issues, so they put tarps up on it. We're going to slow down for the speed hump. We're back at Mackenzie. So here's some statistics for this neighborhood when it comes to crime. Reported incidents: rape, 676 reported incidents. Robbery, 1,848 robberies reported. Assault, 11,518 assaults reported. Violent crimes, 14,370 violent crimes reported. And that's out of 100,000 people. Detroit, that's like the ratio. 676 rapes out of 102.5 robberies, 1,848, 280.2. Yeah, so those are just some crime stats. You can find this all on Google and or Wikipedia. We had another abandoned house or building. Looks like it could have been an apartment building or something at the end of this road, directly in front of us. Oh, that's a vegan food cart on my right. It says vegan me something something. That was a vegan food cart. All right, we're at one of the borders, Joy. Look right here in front of us. See that building's abandoned? It's boarded up. All right, we got a lot of cars coming on my left. I'm going to make a right and probably check out one more block to see what it looks like. Let's make this right-hand turn. Well, now we're back on Joy. Looks like we got apartments on my right-hand side. All right, we're at Marlowe. I'm going to make this right-hand turn at Joy and Marlowe. United Gospel Temple Missionary Baptist Church on our left. We're going to make this right-hand turn. We got U.S. Auto Repair Electrician Specialist on our left. So I guess they work with the electrical vehicles, which is a pain in the butt. If you don't know how to deal with electrical, oh man, it's a nightmare. Yeah, most of this neighborhood looks in good shape. I've seen worse. And I see families out. I see kids out playing. I see people like, out and about. And the sun's going down, which is probably influencing people coming out. Because sometimes people don't like to sit out in the direct sunlight. I don't blame them. I don't either. I'm not one of those people who go to a beach looking for a suntan. I'm one of the ones who might go to a beach and want to hide in the shade. That's like the complete opposite reason, right? To go to a beach. All right, we're at Mackenzie and Marlowe. I saw another abandoned building over here on my left. Another abandoned building. It was on the next block, though. It wasn't on this block. I'm traveling about 15 miles an hour. A lot of overgrown grass on my right. Another abandoned building on my right. So we did probably count off about maybe close to a dozen abandoned buildings in this neighborhood. And a lot of empty lots. Those empty lots probably used to have homes. Let's make this quick left because I think I want to close out on this last abandoned building. We could have went forward another block or so and then made a left. But there's a abandoned building on this block on my left-hand side. We're approaching the last border. So technically, we covered, ouch, bumps, potholes. We covered a high percentage of this neighborhood because it's so small. With the exception of the block that we just skipped and then this block on my right, which we probably didn't even get a chance to see yet. But there's an abandoned house right here on my left. I want to try to see it. We're on Hubble, like the telescope. Hubble telescope. We got another abandoned house on my left. At least it was boarded up. I don't know if it was abandoned. We're traveling 16 miles an hour. And the abandoned house that I was referring to is right here on my left-hand side on the corner of McKenzie. There's a bunch of trash out front of it and it's boarded up. Right here on my left. You see it? Boarded up with the wood on it. The front lawn looks a mess. Let's make this left on McKenzie. I'm going to make an exaggerated left so that you guys can see this building before we close out. This is the building right here in the corner, Mackenzie and Hubble. See it? Crazy, right?